It's time for
Scholastic Scrimmage,
the quiz show where high school teams face off in a contest of quick recall. Production funding provided in part by
It's time you enjoyed banking again. Northwest Savings Bank.
Team captain, come on up here and shake hands. We've got some really tough questions, and I hope you're ready.
Oh, yeah.
What country is directly south of Taiwan? That was really amazing. 2 more Central Pennsylvania schools will compete on Scholastic Scrimmage.
Join us as we welcome back Lewistown Area Senior High School in Mifflin County and Montoursville Area High School in Lycoming County. Now, here's the host of Scholastic Scrimmage, David Price.
Hello, and thank you for joining us again for Scholastic Scrimmage. We are in the playoff round to see which 8 teams will be moving on to face the top 8 teams from our qualifying round. Still looking for the highest scoring team, so keep in mind that based on the scores, it's possible that both of the teams here today could be moving on. They are all set to duel it out in our contest. Before we begin, though, let's meet our student scholars from Lewistown.
I'm Emily Storm, and I'm a senior.
I'm Benjamin Matthews, and I'm a senior.
I'm Christine Foltz, and I'm a senior.
I'm Max Wilson, and I'm a freshman.
The alternate for Lewistown is Samantha Wheeler, a junior, and the team's coach is Jack Anderson. And now let's meet the team from Montoursville.
I'm James Moore, and I'm a senior.
I'm Aaron DeMay, and I'm a senior.
I'm Ty Russell, and I'm a senior.
I'm Ethan Barton, and I'm a senior.
The alternate for Montoursville is Sarah Ulmer, a senior, and the team's coach is Christine Rupert. Our judge for today's contest is Jessica DeArmond from WPSU's Educational Services Division. These teams have been here before. They are familiar with the rules. If you're interested in more details about our competition, you'll find a complete set of our rules online at WPSU.org. Team captains, let's start it off. Coming up, exchange a handshake if you would. Good luck to you both. Let's go with round 1. Lewistown, you start us off. Your opening category is social studies. The rights to peaceably assemble and petition the government for redress of grievances are found in what amendment to the Constitution? Ben.
First.
The First Amendment is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. What Arab nation became the first to recognize Israel's right to exist, doing so in the 1978 Camp David Accords? Didn't get in, Ben. It is Egypt. Social studies for Montoursville. What amendment requires every state to grant its citizens equal protection of the laws? James.
The 14th.
14th is correct. Your follow-up, Montoursville. What act passed by Congress in 1950 required all communist organizations to register with the U.S. government? Officially titled the International Security Act of 1950, known as the McCarran Act. For Lewistown, history. What 1819 treaty established the border between Spain's Texas Territory and the Louisiana Purchase and sold Florida to the United States? That was the Adams-Onís Treaty. Arts and literature for Montoursville. Gustav Eiffel designed the framework for what copper-clad sculpture created by Frederick Bartholdi that is found in New York Harbor? Ethan.
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty is correct. Your follow-up, Montoursville. What 2-letter English word is the translation of the Latin sum and the German bin? Time got you. It is AM. Math and science for Lewistown. Amount of substance is the formal quantity measured by what base unit of the SI system equal to about 6 times are 6 times 10 to the 23rd entities? Max?
A mole.
Mole is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. What letter is used to denote a catalog of 110 astronomical objects assembled by a French astronomer whose first member is the Crab Nebula? Ben?
J.
Take a shot. It's a letter. No, it is the Messier catalog. They are M numbers, but you got to take a shot, right? Math and science for Montoursville. What term describes cells such as animal gametes and plant spores that contain a single complete set of chromosomes? Ethan?
A zygote.
No, they are haploid. Arts and literature for Lewistown. What reclusive New Hampshire author wrote A Perfect Day for Banana Fish, Franny and Zooey, and A Tale of Holden Caulfield, The Catcher? Emily?
J.D. Salinger.
Jerome David. J.D. Salinger is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. What language of Rumi and Omar Khayyam and of the epic Shahnameh has dialects spoken in Tajikistan and Afghanistan and is used in Tehran, Iran? Ben?
Sanskrit.
No, it is Persian or Farsi. History for Montoursville. In 1854, what act overruled the Missouri Compromise and stated that each new state could decide whether to allow slavery? James?
The Kansas-Nebraska Act.
Kansas-Nebraska is correct. Your follow-up, Montoursville. I will need at least a name and number for this one. Monmouth's rebellion and the subsequent bloody assizes were held during the reign of what English monarch ousted in the Glorious Revolution? Aaron?
Charles II.
No, it was James II of the Stuart House. And that is going to be the question that concludes our first round. The current score all tied up. Whenever we reach the end of the first round and the score is tied up as we go to the fast track, we turn to the team on my right because that's what the rules say. So here are the fast track, 60 seconds, 10 questions as quickly as we can get through them. Are you ready, Lewistown? Sure they are. Let's go, fast track. What is the atomic symbol for nickel? Ben?
Ni.
Correct. Pip is the narrator of what Charles Dickens novel? Ben?
Great Expectations.
Correct. In what year did Richard Nixon lose the presidency to John Kennedy? Ben?
1960.
Correct. Silver is the traditional gift of what wedding anniversary? Emily?
50th.
25th. In the ABO blood type system, what rare type is the universal recipient? Christine?
Oh.
AB. What Portuguese navigator discovered the sea route to Brazil in 1500? Pedro Cabral. What rock and roll group includes Keith Richards and Mick Jagger? Max?
Rolling Stones.
Correct. The death of Balder was caused by what Norse trickster god? Ben, you got in.
Odin.
Loki. Hilary Hahn and Joshua Bell both play what stringed instrument? Max?
Guitar.
Violin. In what city did Muhammad flee in the Hijra? Ben?
Jerusalem.
Medina. That is the end of our first fast track of the day, and we turn to our scholars from Lewistown. Re-meeting all of these folks today. Immediately to my right is Emily Storm. She is a senior from Lewistown, and at some point in her life says that she would like to open a wedding chapel. No, it's not just a wedding chapel. It is a drive-through wedding chapel in Vegas.
Sure. I mean, think of all the interesting people you'd meet every day.
Every day,
Yeah.
day in and day
I
out.
think it'd be kind of fun.
Have you taken any steps to achieving this goal, or just
Not yet.
making it up as you go along? Probably a good choice, Emily. Good to see you again. Ben Matthews, senior captain of the team from Lewistown, says he likes cows, but we won't get into that. You're a Shrek 2 fan. Now, we talked a little bit before we went into the air that Shrek, not Shek. Shrek 2. There's Shrek 1 and 2. You don't even remember 1.
No, not really.
So why do you like 2?
It was just a whole lot funnier.
Okay, so he's going to leave me hanging?
One's not even memorable.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So Ben just going to hang. So I'll just hang Price out to dry here. That's good. Good to see you, Ben. Christine Foltz is a senior from Lewistown, wants to travel all over the world, and you also like to camp with your family. Do you do these two things together?
No, mostly throughout the country with the camping. We've gone to Acadia National Park and Shenandoah and places like that.
So where do you want to go in the world?
Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere. Can't narrow it down. And you may or may not camp once you get there. It's good to see you, Christine. And Max Wilson, speaking of traveling, you would like to visit Croatia, especially the coast. Why?
Yeah, because I have family that live over in Croatia, and I've always wanted to go over and visit them.
All right. You know, you could take Christine and knock two birds out with one stone here. We're in rounds 2. Good to see you, Max. Rounds 2 and 3 have a toss-up question. Both teams can answer a correct answer to the toss-up earns them a follow-up question. I will remind you that if you buzz in early while I am reading the toss-up question and then give an incorrect answer, it will cost your team 5 points. And that's what we do in rounds 2 and 3. First toss-up question is in the category of social studies. Alexander the Great's most notable tutor was what Athenian polymath? Aaron.
Aristotle.
Himself a student of Plato, who founded the Lyceum. Aristotle's correct. Your follow-up, Montoursville. What thinker, whose ideas were introduced to Europe by Matteo Ricci, called for ancestor worship and righteousness in his Analects? Aaron.
Confucius.
Confucius is correct. Math and science, toss-up question. What method of heat transfer with free and forced varieties occurs in the atmosphere and relies on currents within a fluid that move warmer matter? Max.
Convection.
Convection is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. In what type of response do plants orient themselves as the day progresses in the direction of the sun? Ben.
Phototropism.
Judges, would you please check on that? I'm going to say now for no, it is heliotropism, but we are going to check on phototropism and see if that falls into our category. Sometimes we get those. Next toss-up question, in arts and literature. What Florentine author was guided through different levels of the afterlife by Virgil in the first 2 parts of the Divine Comedy? Ben.
Dante Alighieri.
Dante is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. What 1897 novel by Bram Stoker begins with the young solicitor Jonathan Harker arriving at a remote castle in the Carpathian Mountains? Ben.
Dracula.
Dracula is correct. Geography, toss-up question. Amherst, Massachusetts lies in the valley of what river that separates Vermont and New Hampshire and is named for the state whose capital is Hartford? James.
Connecticut River.
Connecticut River is correct. Your follow-up, Montoursville. Evaporation is the only outlet for what remnant of Lake Bonneville that contains Antelope Island and receives the Bear, Jordan, and Weber rivers? Captain's got to answer, James. Go ahead, Aaron.
Dead Sea.
No, it is the Great Salt Lake. And I asked for a clarification on the question about heliotropism. We are accepting Ben's answer to that. Phototropism, you will see that reflected in your score there. Toss-up in Pennsylvania history. In the summer of 2006, WWE President Vince McMahon announced that he would build a $2.3 million indoor tennis facility in what town that is the county seat of Cambria County? James.
Johnstown.
No, Lewistown. Emily.
Evansburg.
Evansburg is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. In 1972, 365 subscribers to Service Electric Cable in Wilkes-Barre were the first to receive programming from what now popular cable channel, marking the origin of modern cable programming. Ben.
Fox.
Nope, it was HBO, home box office. Popular culture, toss-up question, brings us some music, please. The movie musical Dreamgirls is based on the lives of the members of what? Aaron.
The Supremes.
Motown Girl Group, which you just heard. Supremes is correct. Montoursville with the follow-up. What Saturday Night Live head writer left the show in 2006 to star in a comedy about an SNL-like show called 30 Rock? Aaron.
Tina Fey.
Tina Fey is correct. Math and science toss-up question. Pencil and paper may help you. What is the largest prime factor of 96? Ben.
3.
3 is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. What compound, the primary component of natural gas, is also the simplest hydrocarbon? Ben.
Methane.
Methane is correct. Current events, toss-up question. I will need a first and last name, please. In 2002, what former Secretary of Transportation and Labor, who married a Kansas senator, was herself elected to the Senate from North Carolina? James.
Elizabeth Dole.
Elizabeth Dole is correct. Your follow-up, Montoursville. In September 2006, the FDA removed fresh bagged spinach from the shelves due to an outbreak of illness caused by what bacterium? Aaron.
E. coli.
E. coli is correct. Arts and literature toss-up question. We direct your attention to the monitor. The Chinese tradition, James.
Bonsai tree.
I'll finish the question. The answer is correct. Penjing is the forerunner of what Japanese form of gardening that yields carefully pruned miniature trees, an example of which you were just looking at. Bonsai is correct. Your follow-up, Montoursville. The Misty poets Beidao and Duo Duo rebelled against socialist realism and were exiled after a 1989 massacre at what location? Aaron.
Tiananmen Square.
Tiananmen Square is correct. That is the question that's going to conclude our second round. Current score, Lewistown 135, Montoursville 120. Brings us to our second fast track of the day. Return to Montoursville this time. Rules are the same, 60 seconds, 10 questions, fast as we can. Are you ready? Sure, let's go. Fast track. What's the atomic symbol for sulfur? James.
S.
Correct. Prince Mishkin is the title character of what Dostoevsky work?
Crime and Punishment.
The Idiot. What is the capital of Spain? Aaron.
Madrid.
Correct. In what country did King Rama IX endorse a September 2006 coup? James. Thailand. How many carbons are in a molecule of either benzene or hexane? Ethan.
6.
Correct. What British monarch succeeded William IV and ruled until her 1901 death? Ethan.
Queen Anne.
Victoria. What crime series drama stars William Peterson as Gil Grissom? CSI. What American writer spent 2 years on the shores of Walden Pond? Ethan.
Thoreau.
Correct. What city on the Willamette River is the most populous in Oregon? James.
Oh, Portland.
Correct. James Chadwick discovered what a subatomic particle? Aaron.
Neutron.
Neutron is correct. Just squeeze it in there before the crash. All right, let's take a little break and meet our student scholars. Once again, from Montoursville, immediately to my left is James Monroe, is a senior at Montoursville, and says he's currently fascinated with his Nintendo Wii. First, what's the Wii?
It's a new video game system put out by Nintendo. It came out in November, and it has a motion-sensitive controller that you can swing around and kind of imitate different motions with that you couldn't really do with any controller in the past.
So wait, you actually get up off of the sofa?
Yeah, you can play like tennis or golf or even bowling. The bowling's not that great, but the golf's pretty cool.
So you're like making actions in your living room. That's cool. It's good to see you, James. Aaron DeMay, senior captain, really big fan of women's tennis and headed to Boston perhaps for what?
Either math or physics.
For college.
Oh, yeah. College.
There are a bunch of colleges around Boston. Yeah, just to go there and find some physics. Just any of the colleges in particular?
Boston University and Northeastern. I'm really not sure yet, but
you got time.
I like them both.
It's early in 2007. Yeah. No pressure. Good to see you, Aaron. Ty Russell is a senior. Now, you guys are sort of generalist when it comes to college selections, and they go by cities. Where are you headed?
Down to the Philadelphia area, hopefully.
Why so Philly?
I wanted to try out a city for a couple years, and if I don't like it, then at least I've tried.
That's right, and we'll always take you back here in Central Pennsylvania. All right, Ty, it's good to see you. Ethan Barton, planning to hopefully head to West Point. You're still awaiting word?
Yes, I'm a candidate, and I got my Representative Sherwood endorsed me, so I'm still waiting for word from the Academy.
But you have just finished a book. You're publishing a book about what?
Well, it was an idea for a senior project. You need to graduate, and it just involved the history of our town and Lycoming County and how the Second World War changed the home front and how it changed the men who fought in the Second World War based on local interviews.
Excellent, excellent. And it's time to capture those interviews. It's good to see Ethan. Good luck. We are into the final round. We open up the final round in Pennsylvania history. What Monongahela native played college football at Notre Dame and as quarterback led the San Francisco 49ers to 4 Super Bowls? James.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana is correct. Your follow-up, Montoursville. What Pittsburgh-born dancer starred in movie musicals like On the Town, Brigadoon, and Singing in the Rain? Aaron.
Fred Astaire.
No, it is Gene Kelly. Popular culture toss-up question brings us some more music, please.
Whole world could change in a minute. Just one kiss could stop it spinning. We could think it through.
Want To was a hit for what group that toured in 2006 with Kenny Chesney and whose lead singer had a hit singing with Bon Jovi? Emily.
Sugarland?
Sugarland is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. What National League team that won the World Series against the Indians in 1995 saw its streak of 14 consecutive division titles end in 2006? Ben.
The Yankees.
Note is the Atlanta Braves. History, toss-up question. What Phoenician colony, legendarily founded by Dido and located, Ben?
Carthage.
In modern-day Tunisia, was destroyed by the Romans in the Third Punic War. Carthage is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. Who is the only man to be elected to the U.S. Senate as a write-in candidate beginning a 48-year period in office that ended in 2003? Senator Strom Thurmond. Math and science, toss-up question. Pencil and paper may assist again. If Ed can fit 6 books in a box, how many whole boxes will he need to pack 100 books? Ben?
17.
He'll need 17 of them. He can cut one of them a third off. Lewistown with the follow-up. The pure form of what organic acid is known as glacial because it exists as an ice-like solid at temperatures below 17 degrees Celsius? Ben.
Ethanoic acid.
No, it is. Yes, you are correct. Ethanoic or acetic acid. Had to read farther down my line. Social studies, toss-up question. Disorganized, residual, catatonic, and paranoid are subtypes of what split mind disorder? Emily.
Schizophrenia.
Associated with an impaired perception of reality. Schizophrenia is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. The Polish occultist Ludwig Zamenhof created what artificial language whose name means one who hopes? Ben.
Esperanzador.
So close, but no, it is just simply Esperanto. Geography, toss-up question. We direct your attention to the monitor. What U.S. national monument in Wyoming, seen here, was established as the first national monument by Theodore Ethan?
Chimney Rock.
No, I'll finish the question for Lewistown. By Theodore Roosevelt in 1906 through the Antiquities Act. Christine.
Devil's Tower.
Devil's Tower is correct. Your follow-up, Lewistown. To ancient Greek sailors, what pillars marked the western limit of safe navigation?
Hercules. Pillars of Hercules.
Ben.
The Pillars of Hercules.
Pillars of Hercules is correct. Pennsylvania, toss-up question. Leonard Harrison State Park and Colton Point State Park. James.
Tioga County.
No, and I'll finish the question for Lewistown. Are found on the rims of what natural landmark near Wellsboro?
Oh my gosh.
Ben.
Mount Davis.
No, it is the Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania, and to James's credit, he had the county correct. Current events, toss-up question. On July 31st, 2006, what organization took over peacekeeping operations in Afghanistan from a U.S.-led coalition? James.
NATO.
NATO is correct. Your follow-up, Montoursville. In June 2006, the Colombian town of Aracataca declined to honor what native son Nobel laureate by changing its name to Macondo? Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the name of the city in 100 Years of Solitude. Arts and literature toss-up question. Redirect your attention back to the monitor. A green-faced man stares into the face of a goat-like animal in what artist's 1911 painting, I and the Village, seen here? James.
Picasso.
No, Lewistown. Was Marc Chagall. That is going to be the game-ending buzzer. We're going to have to end it right here. Montoursville 190, Lewistown 205. Congratulations, both. Game well played. I will remind everybody that these are based on scores. We'll be comparing all of the scores when all of the teams in this run of our competition and see who the top 8 scores are that advance to the next level. Do want to thank you very much for tuning in, and please be sure to be with us next Saturday at 6 o'clock as Loyalsock Township takes on Southern Fulton. That'll be followed at 6:30 by Brookville against Rockwood, and that's right here on Scholastic Scrimmage.
A copy of the program you've just seen can be purchased through Penn State Media Sales at mediasales.psu.edu or by calling 800-770-2111.